Are there any public comments on agenda items? Seeing none, are there any public comments at all? Okay. We have a couple of presentations. Dr. Russo is going to say a few words about Project Prom.
Okay, so Colleen Donnelly and I are co-chairs of Project Prom, which I'm new to being in charge of Project Prom, and it's quite an activity, I want to tell you. So we have a lot of good people doing different jobs. Alyssa McGoldrick is in charge of decorating. We have Mark Davin in charge of the food, Robin Seraphin fundraising. Jean Dewey's our treasurer, Emily Cadwallader is the drink bar, and Jason and Rebecca Stone are entertainment. One of the things that we did this year that I think will please the board is that we did ask the PTA to hold Project Prom money, and so no longer does Project Prom have its own account. It's under the PTA graciously agreed to do that, so something I think the board would probably be happy with, and it also makes it better for people donating because of the 501(c) now. We have a budget of about $8,000. We've raised $7,000, so we have about $1,000 to go. Feel free to contribute if you'd like. We have a GoFundMe page, or you can make checks to the PTA and send them to Jean Dewey. Usual thing, there's a theme, but it's a secret, so I can't tell you. But we picked a theme that there was a lot of materials that we could reuse to keep costs down. We're not allowing students to drive home again this year. The Lions Club did agree as well to do that, but at the parent meeting, most of the parents said they would pick up their kids and don't actually need to ask the Lions to do that. May 9th, Project Prom. That's it. Questions?
Sounds like fun. Any questions about Project Prom? And Stephanie Bauer, give some news about CFEE for us.
This is like a mid-year report. I don't have a budget to share with you. Our accountant is busy with tax time in April. But I can tell you that we have several active funds of people who are holding money for us right now. And one was Souls to Share. That's the group that Christina Noto started to share shoes and gather shoes and all that. And she's received several nice donations and is continuing that work and has arranged for a student to take over her job next year when she goes off to college. So I think it's an ongoing endeavor, and many congratulations to her. We also now have something that we've termed the Cooperstown Educational Travel Fund. And this is, so far they've had 4 donors, and this is designed to help a student who's interested in going on one of the foreign or Washington, D.C. trips that are generally organized by Jennifer Pinder. And I guess in the past, there's always been a student or two who hasn't been able to come up with the money, and Jen has either graciously taken it out of her own pocket or hit up her friends or asked her parents or somehow creatively devised a way for these students to be able to go. And now there's a different source of funding where Jen won't have to do it on her own. So CFEE is holding the money, and we're looking for other parents who have gone for free to maybe donate some money back to that fund and to see how that goes. Our main fundraiser of the year was last Friday night. It's called Creek's Got Talent, and the students were great. Some of them just are fearless up there on that stage. It's fun to watch, and I'm always happy with the students, and I'm always depressed about the size of the crowd. Despite having done this for maybe this is the 4th year, I don't think there's any momentum. I think it's sort of the same, about 100 people, 125 people each year. And the amount of pleasure that the crowd gets and the fun that we have really speaks to that we should have 250 people there, not 150, because that spreads around the door. So I'm hoping next year we can continue to tweak our advertising and find a way to get more people to come. Our next event that used to be hosted by the Nisha people, but we've taken it over, and that's the Antiquarian Book Fair. It's sort of a nice fundraiser for us because it sort of has an academic tone to it, being that it's books and antique papers and all kinds of things there. And we don't have to do anything but help staff the door, and whatever the admission cost is, that's whatever admission we take in at $4 a person, that's the money we get. So it's one day of volunteering at the door, and last year we got about $800 for just sitting there. They have a crew that sets up and takes down and advertises and gets the vendors, and that part of it's all set up. So we don't have a lot to do and we get money from it. What could be bad, right? Could be bad. So I encourage everybody to come to that because it's fascinating. Even if you buy nothing and you just wander around, it's incredible. And so that's coming up June. It's always the last Saturday in June, June 27th. And it runs from 10 to 4. Students get in free, and it's $4. And I encourage everybody to come. Does anybody have any questions about CFEE or anything else going on? That's sort of the latest. I'm trying to think what else. We've started this year asking some of the people that we have funded to show us what they're doing with the things that we've given them. And CFEE showed us the new tablets that are being used in the elementary school, and Brad Smith gave us a great presentation on the robotics and the 3D printer, and all that stuff is just astounding. And I'm happy to continue to be involved with CFEE because I feel that the things that we're providing to the school are almost in that category of extraordinary. So I'm happy to do that and happy to take questions or suggestions or whatever.
Great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your leadership. The CFEE is a real asset to the school.
Thank you. You're welcome.
So, we need a motion to amend the minutes of the regular meeting of April 8th, 2015 to reflect that Mr. Hayes was not at the meeting and subsequent motions were actually 6 instead of 7. Motion is carries. We need a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of April 8th. Oh. 8 minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now I need a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of April 8th, 2015.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Need a motion to amend the agenda to add an item under personnel. Resolved that the Board of Education. Resolved that the Board of Education of the Cooperstown Central School District, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools per Article 7 of the agreement between Cooperstown Central School District Service Unit and the Superintendents of Schools, on behalf of the Board of Education, does hereby approve the request of Donna Hebert, School Monitor, for an unpaid leave of absence for 1 day effective May 2015.
Do we need the date?
It just says May.
May, what's the
I
date?
believe it was the 6th.
6.
Yes, May 6th. Do it later.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So, I will go ahead with the operations and grounds, since Dr. Bergstrom is not here. Thank you.
Did you want to offer for public comment?
Yeah.
It was too big.
We're all set. Okay. You can use this computer if you want. operations, ground, and audit. I need a motion to adopt the proposal of 2015-16 budget in the amount of $17,871,526.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? That motion carries.
Talk a little bit on this about what's contained in the budget for this year. All right, we just a few initial budget factors to look at before we talk a little bit about what is contained in the spending plan for 15-16. The last year's adopted budget, $17,755,706. This year's tax levy limit is 2.5%, or the revised tax levy limit is 2.5%. The original is a little bit more, which would yield a tax or potential tax levy increase with a simple majority of $278,093. This year, we've talked, it feels like for a good portion of my life, about the gap elimination adjustment. And again, this year there was certainly significant progress towards revising it or eliminating it. We did not get there, get about 40% of the way there as a state in general. And the adjustment or the reduction of the adjustment for Cooperstown ended up at $235,079. We realized a very small increase in foundation aid, which is $15,229. That amounts to 0.3%. And the remaining GEA, or the amount of aid that is continuing or will continue to be withheld from the district, is $348,594 for the 15-16 school year. Some of the development considerations, we have a group of students coming out of the elementary that is much higher than those going into the elementary. They will be reducing one FTE or one position at the elementary. We are planning to share the Director of Student Services position with Skenevis, as we had talked about previously or at previous meetings. This budget does give the consideration of increasing the social studies position by 0.17 FTE. We have a social studies person on staff at 0.83. Currently, we are also creating an English as a second language or English language learner position. We currently have students within the district who require ELL support. We are obtaining that support from BOCES at the moment, and we are hoping to create a position to subsume that support from BOCES and at the same time offer foreign language support potentially at both buildings. That will be determined on the level of staffing that is needed here, as well as the availability of that individual potentially at the elementary school. We are also looking at enhanced academic intervention services support and offering some internship opportunities. Those opportunities will be both of those opportunities will be at the secondary level. The one AIS support will be in the area of math, and the internship providing internships or job shadowing opportunities for students using a currently employed individual. Talking about the aid reductions, GEA, just to go back through and remind everyone where we are. Those are the years 2010-11 through the current year, and looking at the total withheld aid over that period of time in excess of $4 million. So the 15-16 proposed budget, $17,871,526. That is a budget-to-budget increase of 0.65%, or a little over $150,000 and almost $116,000. The estimated impact on the tax levy is at 2%, and as you'll recall, that is less than the tax levy limit. Also looking at continuation of our bus leasing program that we initiated last year. If you were here, you recall that our fleet has been significantly aging and showing tremendous signs of wear. We had a number of buses that were taken out of service because they did not pass the DOT inspection. We started a leasing program last year, and we leased, I believe, 5 buses last year. This year, we are proposing a proposition on the ballot to lease 3 large buses, 1 small bus. The total lease payments over a 5-year period equating to $278,750. This has the added benefit of obviously greatly reduced maintenance costs on those buses and the ability at the end of the lease period to either turn them back in or purchase them off of the lease plan. So the budget propositions, we have the annual budget amount that was presented. We have the bus leasing. We have 3 board seats that are open as well. We have 2 incumbents who are Hebert and Scalisi, who are running again. Dr. Borgstrom, his term is up. He will not be running. And but I didn't write all these down too. Let me see if I can remember everybody else who is Trevor Fuller, yes. Lori Williams and Mary Bonder are also, and I've seen Tabitha Rathbone as well. So we have 6 individuals who are running for the 3 open seats, and those positions will be on. We had at a discussion at the last 2 board meetings. There were some individuals who had expressed concern about the Director of Student Services position. We actually received a formal petition subsequent to that, and took an opportunity to meet with some of the individuals who brought that forward on Monday evening, presented the original rationale for the development of the position and some of our goals for what we would like to do with that curricular assessment and instructional, curricular, and assessment analysis results going forward. The board continues to feel that that is a wise investment in the future, as well as maintaining our position as an educational leader in this part of the state and within our goal seats. So that position is, or the funding for that position is included in the budget, the 15-16 budget. Are there any questions that the board has? Any questions that you folks have? Yes.
No, could you just recap the comparative leasing cost for the 5 years versus
The leasing cost of the buses over a 5-year period, leases are here. We have those 3 large buses would be, I would say, in excess of $100,000, probably $105,000 to $110,000 each. The small bus, I believe they're around $65,000 to $70,000, I would think. So again, leasing these buses over a 5-year period, our total, you can see our total payments for that utilization is less than $300,000. So we feel that that is a better utilization of that. Again, we have for the majority of the lease period, if not all the lease period, the work that would be done to them, other than standard types of things, tires and oil and windshield wipers would be taken care of by our mechanics, but the major work that would be done on any of those buses would be under warranty. So we're anticipating, we've already seen, actually with the new buses that we've brought into our fleet, reduction in parts cost and in labor cost with regard to maintaining the integrity.
And I just make a point also that even though that's a separate proposition, the cost for that lease is built, the yearly cost is built into the normal budget, and it does not add anything extra to the levy in any way as Proposition 5 buses may. Just to make that.
Good point, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is anybody else? Yes.
I just wonder if you could clarify, I was one of the people that you met with on Monday night to talk about the executive principal position. And my understanding from the other night is that in the budget, the salary for this position is under a line that is not specifically stating that it's executive principal salaries. It's administrative salaries or something more generic, if I'm understanding correctly. I haven't seen the proposed budget line by line, but can you clarify for us that?
The salary for, administrative salaries fall under a specific code, and, the funding for this position going forward, as with, all of our administrative positions, would certainly, I believe, fall under the same category.
Well, they are broken out, so
And-
it's under curriculum development and supervision.
So there is some room for revision of the title of this position at a later date, is what I'm asking. That it's not written in stone in the budget. Of course,
Well, I
nothing is,
think-
because
I
you can
think-
do budget modifications, but I just would like you to clarify that there can be revision
There,
at some point.
as far as any position, there is the ability to modify, as well as modify budget lines for a variety of the categories that we have listed within the budget. What we budget for is the expectation, or with the information that we know of, building the budget and what the expenditures are planned to be. If they are not such, and only in various categories, while there are restrictions of moving from equipment, let's say, to supplies, spending money or expending funds for different reasons under the same category is permissible.
Thank you. I have a related question. Can you tell us how much is budgeted for the new elementary school principal's salary?
Yes, we can. I believe we have 85,000.
Thank you.
That does not mean that we will necessarily.
I understand that. I just
But
was curious what
yes,
number you all
that's
are
what
working
we-
with.
Depending on experience. Anybody else have any additional questions?
Thank you for the very good synopsis. The warrants are included in our packets for our information. Any questions on it? Then I make a motion to approve the revised February 2015 Treasurer's Monthly Report dated February 28, 2015, as provided.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Was there any discussion? Motion carries. I make a motion to approve the monthly treasurer reports for the period March 1st, 2015 to March 31st, 2015 as attached. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. I make a motion to approve the Equal Capital Fund number 2 in the amount of $5,085 payable to Birch Company, Knudsen, for the professional services March 1st through 31st, 2015, dated April 17th, 2015. Any discussion?
Just a general question, how close are we to actually breaking ground on that?
On this project?
Yes.
As soon as we get everybody out of here, we'll be breaking all kinds of ground on that project. Actually, they are working on scheduling consolidated all of our summer experiences to take place over in this building. And, you know, it's likely we're gonna have to modify parking accommodations as well, because, you know, the company that has the paving and drainage portion of that, they're gonna want to come in and do everything, you know, as quickly as they can. Not that they'll do it overnight, but a lot of this will be torn up. The elementary building is also due to the tile and asbestos abatement project. There's going to be significant displacement. But a lot of things will be happening at the end of June, 1st of July. It'll be a pretty tight schedule.
How will that affect the summer program?
All of the summer programs will be over here in this building.
But when they start working over here, that's the part that we're talking about.
Well, the parking will be, they're going to do all of the summer, you know, pretty much probably 98% paving and all this stuff. So all the parking lots, the whole complex. Yeah. it will be.
Okay, moving on. I make a motion. There's the discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed. That motion carries. Now, I'll make a motion to accept the financial advisory services agreement between the Cooperstown Central School District and the Fiscal Advisors and Marketing Incorporated for services relating to providing financial advice for the capital project referendums and prospective debt issuances. Be it further resolved that the board grants authorization to the superintendent of schools to sign said agreement. Any discussion?
What was the process that we go through to find and then decide on this?
This is a new requirement that we